Today, we're going to be talking about the best whiskey under $25. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today we're talking cheap bourbon. And I mean cheap. We're talking $25 and under. That is what I consider to be budget bourbon. Now, every single one of these is a really good bourbon. These are all bottles that drink neat. They work for cocktails. They kind of do it all, and they're really inexpensive. So these are in no particular order except for the last one, and because it's just my personal favorite, under $25. And this list was actually really hard to do because there's not a lot of great bourbons out there that are around $25. You know, once you get into that $30 price range, the world kind of opens up to you, but 25 and under is a little difficult. All right, first one up here is a bottle of JTS Brown. I cannot find this anywhere in Florida. However, I had a friend of mine find it in North Carolina. So shout out to Joey. I appreciate it very, very much. So JTS is around $18-25. It is a really solid bottle. It's bottled in bond. It is made by Heaven Hill, and it is a exceptional bottle. It's great mixing. It's great neat. It's great over ice. It's really kind of everything you want. High quality distillate at a very, very low price. And it's at least 4 years old. It's bottled in bond. So I don't think it's a day over 4 years old if I had to guess. But I will tell you this. It is actually a really solid bottle. And this is one of my favorites that I keep kind of gravitating towards since I found it. I just think it's really good. And I wish I could find it more readily available here in Florida. But if I ever see this while I'm out traveling, I will grab a bunch of these because I love them so much. Moving on to the next one. All right, this is a bottle of Wild Turkey 101. It is 8-year, but pretend it isn't. I'm just going to hold it up to here in the camera so you can see it. Wild Turkey 101. Definitely not being deceptive. But forget the 8-year. I'm talking about regular Wild Turkey 101. I just, for some reason, don't have a bottle of Wild Turkey 101. It's one of those bottles that I don't buy because I just assume I have one at home, but I did not have one when I was coming to do this video. So, Wild Turkey 101. I was only able to include it this week because it's on sale right now for $23.99. And it's kind of cheating because it's $25.99 regularly. But I'm going to include it because I don't know if that's the standard price. When I first started getting into bourbon, Wild Turkey 101 was $19.99. And now $25 is still a really good buy for that bottle. I think it is one of the most versatile bourbons on the planet. It makes like incredible cocktail. Not a lot of people use Wild Turkey in cocktails, and I don't really know why, because the Wild Turkey 101 is like perfect for cocktails. It is shocking me you don't see more recipes using Wild Turkey 101. It's just an exceptional bottle for the price, and it's one of those like evergreen bottles that I'm starting to get like nostalgic for, because every once in a while I just want regular Wild Turkey 101. For some reason you're watching this and you've never tried Wild Turkey 101, go out and try it. It's fantastic. If you don't like Wild Turkey, it may not be for you, but if you've never tried it, I would highly recommend you give it a chance. Moving on to the next one. All right, this one up here is one that I feel like I have started to talk about a little bit more here from time to time because it's just such a damn good bottle and not enough people are talking about it. This is Old Forester 100. One of my favorite bottles in all of Old Forester's product lineup is this bottle right here. I love the rye version as well. But for this list, we're going to be talking about bourbons. So this comes in literally $24.99. It is an absolutely incredible bottle of bourbon. They are very simple notes, but they are very predominant notes. If you have never tried Old Forester 100, you can expect like a little bit of banana in there. You can expect a little bit of like caramel, vanilla, a little hint of cherry, like just pretty standard bourbon notes. But I'm telling you, people sleep on this, and I don't know why. I think it's because the Whiskey Row series is like so highly regarded with stuff like 1910, 1924, 1920. Those are all really good bottles, but for half the price, less than half the price, you can get a bottle that's just as good as those. I mean, this is as good as like 1897, and I think that's one of my favorite of the Whiskey Row series. But I think this is just as good. It's just more simple. It's not as aged, but it is really, really good. If you've never tried just like basic 100 proof Old Forester, definitely give it a shot. It's really, really good, and it's a really underrated bottle. Moving on to the next one. Heaven Hill might be the king of cheap, good bourbon because I recently found this bottle when I was on a trip to North Carolina for a family emergency. And I have seen this one when I've been up there from time to time, and I never really paid it much attention until I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was talking about another bottle from this thing. And I was like, oh, I've seen that brand before. I didn't know anything about it. It wasn't until recently that I found out that they are that Heaven Hills is the maker of virgin bourbon. I opened this today because I wanted to try this for this list, and I was like, there's no way this is good. I'll be damned. It's really good. It's more oaky than any of the other stuff from Heaven Hill at this price range, but it's still sweet oak. It's still really, really solid. I had a very, very small, I mean, like you can tell, still up to here in the neck. I had such a small amount. I do think this is overlooked, and I think part of the problem is this bottle has very strange distribution. I think that's why it's overlooked, because I just don't think enough people are getting their hands on it. But it's really solid, and I think it was like $17. It may even have been like $15. It was very, very cheap. So if you've never tried this, give it a shot. It's very interesting because it's charcoal filtered Heaven Hill, which I don't think is a typical thing that they do a lot. So if you ever see one of these, if you're in North Carolina, and I have a lot of people that watch from North Carolina, go try one of these. It's shockingly good. And if you don't like it, save it for me. I'll be up there in a few weeks, and I'll take it off your hands gladly. Moving on to the next one. But before we continue this video, we need to thank today's sponsor, Original Grain. When Original Grain originally reached out to me, I knew this was going to be a match made in heaven. They make watches out of reclaimed wood, including whiskey barrels, beer barrels, and even guitars. And if you've watched my videos for any amount of time, you know I'm a huge Jack Daniels fan, so I went with the Jack Daniels Barrel 46mm watch. The quality on these watches is absolutely astonishing. I had really high expectations for it, and it blew those expectations out of the water. So if you are looking for a gift for yourself or the whiskey lover in your life, this is an elevated and excellent option that won't disappear like a bottle of whiskey will. Make sure you check out the link in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you again to Original Grain for sponsoring this video, and now back to the video. All right, this one right here is a bottle that I love the entire lineup, and there's only one bottle that I wouldn't put in this lineup because it's out of the price range. It's $27.99. I'm talking about the entire Benchmark lineup, but in particular, Benchmark Foolproof. I'm a huge fan of all of the Benchmark stuff. I even do like the single barrel, but again, it's $27. We're trying to stay under $25 for this list of this video. You have the Benchmark small batch, the Foolproof, the single barrel, the bonded, and the top floor. And then like the regular Benchmark Old No. 8, which I don't think is as good as the other stuff in this lineup, but these are actually made by Buffalo Trace. A lot of people don't seem to realize that. I've been in many liquor stores where someone has asked the store employee if they have any Buffalo Trace, and they're like, no, we're out. And then they won't even acknowledge that, and I'm like, well, if you just grab that, that's maybe, but it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's not as good as some of the other Buffalo Trace offerings. I don't think they're as good as standard Buffalo Trace, but if you're trying to find something that's similar, it's about as good as you're going to get. I have heard people say outlandish things like Benchmark Foolproof is as good as Stag. No, it isn't. Not even close. Stag is its own completely separate animal. I feel like people who say that haven't had Stag or haven't had Stag in a while and kind of just misremembering. This is not as good as Stag, but it is a really, really solid one. This is actually my go-to mixing bourbon because I like it in cocktails because it's such a high proof. It stands up to dilution, and it has just really simple but really good bourbon characteristics. It's like oak and even into tobacco, which is kind of crazy to get that level of a note on a $24 bourbon. $22, I think this is what this one actually is. $22. So I know these aren't available everywhere, but if you find one in your area and you've never given it a chance, give it a shot. I think you'll really dig it. Moving on to the last one. If you've watched any of my videos, anytime I talk about budget bourbon, you know what number one is because this is one of my favorite bottles of all time. If this was readily available, I probably wouldn't have as much other stuff in this room as I do because it's just not readily available in Florida like I wish it was. This is Early Times Bottled and Bond. I love Early Times Bottled and Bond. It's $14 here at Total Wine when they get it. $14.99 for that price. I mean, you get a liter of bourbon for $14.99. You can get 2 liters of Early Times Bottled and Bond or 1 bottle of Buffalo Trace at MSRP. I'm picking Early Times Bottled and Bond every day. I love it. It is a staple. I always have a bottle of Early Times in the house. It's just an unbelievable bottle. It's one of the best, if not, in my humble opinion, the best budget bourbons on the planet. You cannot do better than this for $15. It's deceptive. It's crazy how good this bottle is. If you have never tried it, I know Early Times isn't available everywhere all the time. For me, it's not even readily available here. But if you ever find one of these, I personally have spent up to $30 on Early Times, and I would do it again. I think it's a really good bottle. I don't feel ripped off at $30. I wouldn't spend over $35 on it. If you see it under that, you got to give it a shot, especially if you've never had it. I love this crap, and it's kind of nuts. This is a black top. This isn't, what I'm currently drinking on, but this is a older Early Times Bottled and Bond black top, which are allegedly better. It still remains to be seen. Although I did a video of it on Patreon that, it won. But, marginal. Anyway, I think you should definitely give this a shot. It's good to mix. It's good for cocktails, and it's a bourbon drinker's budget bourbon. There is one more bottle that I wanted to include, but I don't have the physical bottle here. And if I can help it, I try not to do that in videos, and it's J.W. Dant Bottled and Bond. I love it. I have a J.W. Dant t-shirt. I love J.W. Dant. So that one should be on this list too. Comment down below. Let me know if there's any other bottles that I missed on this list of bourbons that are great under $25. While you're down there, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, cheers. A big thank you to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen right now.